everyone has been inoculated here. You can come close, spread your own disease. Body warmth is useful. I'm not afraid. I like you being close. Thank you for coming to this event. We're very grateful that you all came. This is Joe, who will guide us around, our artist educator. Joe?
Hello, welcome to the National Gallery, and this is SJ Fowler. He is a poet, a performer and a lecturer, so welcome, and you're all friends with him today.
Yes, so today's event will be a walking tour and a poetry reading at the same time, these two things mashed up. We will be visiting altogether 6 paintings, and along the way you'll be hearing new poems that have been written for this night on these 6 paintings. And at each stop, Joe here will give a bit of context and talk about the history of the painting and the nature of it before the poems are read. And that's the tour of it. It'll be like 40 minutes. You'll have a great time. I hope. Thanks.
You're welcome. And so we are in the lower galleries this evening, where we have our sort of earliest paintings, frightened of this image. But it's a really interesting image to sort of really get in, just sort of really have a good look. We've got a sort of right over here, I think, where the wedding party was, it's all sort of spreading out. There's also, in this story, there's 2 centaurs, 2 lovers, and they're lamenting because he's been killed with a spear. A rather large sort of arrow, but yeah, so that's the sort of focus of this image. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Joe. That's really kind. Prepare. The Fight Between the Lapiths and the Centaurs by Piero de Cosimo. Let us have it then, legal troubles. The rare proper use of the word verses, turmoil, fight, shit on for legs, energy drink normalization, Bayer Leverkusen this season, biscuit fallout, equestrian shit fitting, mythologically difficult first cousins, Bob Hoskins, Gerard Depardieu, the Eagles, Pierce Brosnan. If there were no laws, I would fight you every single day. If there were no risk of imprisonment, behind me would lay a trail of dead, and so too soon would I be dead, killed by a horseman, bitten in the face. Maybe that would be for the better, for my legs are ponies and my arms are donkeys. Threats work. They should be used with a light tread, but are sometimes needed to motivate the awful drunks. How we regret our wedding invitations to distant cousins in the hills, like a handful of hair with a head nowhere near, like Ixoniadae down from the mountains of Thessaly, up for the savagery I am so sorely missing from my bourgeois Olympics. That said, who does not have contempt for the lust of drink? Who can unsee the blue bride, the fight for a tit, the loss of a nose? How many hours up those hidden stairs did I guard the marble blocks of the Basside frieze? More than I should have. And what ideas you give me. We see there has always been a let's have it. But I seem the calm love of Cosimo's centre, the stupid, sentimental centaur couple. You and your other half a horse. The painting, it's said, would have warned the human married couple how not to behave. This seems both overkill and painfully naive. Thank you. Follow me.
Let's go and see who we're going to be next door.
Oh, sorry.
So this image here is by the artist Iain about, again, 1510 to 1530, so early 16th century. You might when you look at the painting, you might think, okay, it reminds me of another famous artist. You might be thinking of Leonardo da Vinci, and actually he was a sort of follower of Leonardo da Vinci. We're not sure quite what their contact was, but there's definitely some elements of soft shading and things like that. So the story this is describing is from the Gospel of St. Mark, and it is Salome receiving the head of John the Baptist. So Salome has danced for King Herod, and she dances so beautifully. He says to her, I can have anything, what would you like? So she says, she thinks her mother is married to Herod, Herodias, but Herodias has got a grudge with John the Baptist, because he he said that her marriage to Herod, who is her brother-in-law, was unlawful. So she thinks, okay. So she asks for the head of John the Baptist. That's what I do as a young lady. Let's have his head, please, on a plate. So that's what we're seeing here. So yes, it's great.
A round of applause for Jessica.
I counted 100 ways of defeat when the space was packed with men. I kissed the ring of every hand, but they didn't see my face. Lucky man to be man, where the plane is 100 different chances, while the face of the mother is your own. I'm unmoved by kings or Baptists or redeemers, the lingering reach of something that frightens us. If you were told to save the world, would you move? Watch all the pretty people in their rows, see how they run. Catch yourself, stirring the blood of the land before me, ask two people cut the same cloth, hungry for power, part of the masses of the many men. Call demise is such a sweet thing, sour, sensual, spiteful thing. The superiority of the hero's death is the ringing dawn, the drone of a dance, a cupboard of secrets with the doors open, saying, come in. They say temptress as if the word bites. They say, severed head I yearned for, head I kneeled for, head of revenge. But dedication is discipline, service, precision, my 2 feet. Take your family name, paint your sins. I am man, woman, and all things. Euphoric, my body, watch me. My arms arched, the breath of the world spins. I am devoted, this contortion of youth, the woman who brings a king to his knees. I'm unconfined, unbound, rhythmically. The sequence of my step melting, half the kingdom for me. The righteous and the unrighteous at one with the ground, over walls swung, a movement so sweet. One body sold for another, and I've killed them all. For how many times must a man look up before he notices the sky? And I am wrapped up around him, close death embrace, I wanted him, I always dreamt of dying. He, so beautiful, is close to me, head to chest, breath pulling breath. They bow heads, he bows to me, and I always knew I could kill a man.
About how they should behave and what's right for women. An interesting thought for us today. So.
Ladies and gents, Iain Sinclair.
Combat of love and chastity. L'amour, l'amour. Where are the swans that after consummation we become, or, misbegotten, we once were again? And here, in this innocent panel, the dance of souled summer pastoral, decoration for private apartments in Mantua, is retranslated into an unconcerned National Trust park, where seductively angled limbs and broken arrows spell out a secret alphabet among the daisies, love's balletic combat without blood or resolution. No precedence then before poem becomes painting, becomes event, the progress of a scattered audience brought to this illuminated window through time, and the miracle of a democratic hang outside theology, where each fragment of candled narrative contributes to the completed pattern, the argument of sustained faith against the noble accident of suspended ignorance. Petrarch set the template. Her armour was a robe. L'amour, l'amour. Translation contrives eroticism from chastity, which for some is more charged than any other state. She waved the stroke of this sharp conqueror. She broke his bow and made his arrows lie upon the ground, spent declarations in a discontinued court of love. He gestures, and in resistance, his ardour unpronounced, a few feathery hairs, unsexed nakedness giving nothing away, wings inadequate for flight, no Icarus, no ambition, no ploughman or field labourers to mar the ritual of infinitely postponed ravishment. Her bat-winged shield of spinning flowers deflects the neutral spur of mind threat, her salty hunger. They exchange roles like Richard Burton and John Neville of the Old Vic, androgyny of intent, a mating dance, a mirthless revel, passage of the seasons, archetype passing to David Jones in the Freudian garden at Ditchling, a path that does not conclude, a woman bending away, never taken in heat, geese scattering, necks erect. The message is the thing that was never here, primal darkness of the originating forest, vampire trees that swallow trespassers until they tell the tale again, courtship, holding, heel and toe, engage, retreat, l'amour, l'amour, forever and again, and now, once more.
Spiritual, the search for the truth. And interestingly, if you look closely at the image, the animals are actually very, very beautifully painted. And Casanova was known, it was very famous in his lifetime for painting animals, and he did lots of drawings and studies of different animals. Just before I stop, if you notice at the bottom, we have a scroll. Nobody's really sure why that's there, so maybe we can think about it as we're listening to the poem.
By accident it's me again, but that's the only good thing about this, is that I think one thing you have to get from this is that these images are all connected, that they breed from each other. So the one we've just looked at is connecting up, I'm trying to in this poem, with what we've got here. This is the vision of St. Eustace. Lights are dimmed and the forest walks alone. This nominated egg tempera panel is twinned now in a hushed and respectful graphic novel made available to obedient pilgrims fired by reckless expectation as they process from one museum chapel to the next. Vision is ours. They learn. It's ours to absorb. Participants frozen in a curious ceremonial dream. The horsemen robed in consequence, decked with medallions, worked gold, in which Pisanello, travelling craftsman, painter of frescoes, made a reputation and secured patronage. And here indeed is the golden legend. Popes, doges, dukes, Gonzaga, Este, Visconti, the ruin of palaces, never seen, confirms the status of captured Quattrocento treasure, scavenged and curated by pre-modernist poets, heading for the rocks. Ezra Pound, Keel to Breakers in 1911, Tourist. Gonzaga's splendor alight with phantoms. No picture is made, he said, to endure nor to live with, but live these poets must, enduring, sustaining through labyrinths of sound and symbol. Within that forest, where a bestiary of extinct animals glows, just once, flickering corpse candles distinguish the perpetual night in which a pagan saint, huntsman hunted by emblematic stag, has galloped from some medieval tapestry where creatures from a pattern book come to life. Arching greyhound coupling with blank scroll on which the legend of conversion should have been embroidered. Circus bear exiting right to fade into a swamp of paint. The hare bounds free, and the gallery copyist folds his stool to carry an awkward and rewilded reproduction out into the overlit and godless London streets.
Right, everybody, we are just going to shuffle along so you can pose here.
Please come as close as you would like to come.
Most sculptures all the time. So, and also, these next ones paintings, there was very good shaving. There's no hair on any of the bodies. and hand to sort of a little bit.
And next up will be Oscar Rodriguez.
Hello, thank you, Joe. Thank you so much, thank you, Steve. So I love this painting. So this poem is very reflective on the story of Miss Mars, but also of my own relationships slash situationships. Those type of things. Too chaste, I say. Two lost figures hidden in shrubs, collecting thorns in their undoing. Braids harness silk to skin. Don't you wonder how he's undressed? Yes, many men came before. Masochist, capitalist, men with no face, cowards bent in shame. All left thighs scarred. Signed from stranger mouths than yours. A non-stop motion of thrust, of swords, of false proclamations. I said I love you, past your ear. Sit still for the wasps. How come they don't sting you, but the bite is all I have left of you? It's all obtuse. It's all a cycle. Still I yearn, still I moan. And there you are, a boy, beneath the weight of ironclad and sword. And does the guise ever wander? Masculinity, stay limp, swept back, casually nude. Do dream of giving me, taking me, shattered skull, ruptured lung, sore throat, suckling your thumb. Lose morality and lose posture. Uncontrollable child of Uranus. Guilt cannot beat at us if we are not criminal. Ignore the satires. What do they know of greater pleasures? Shame does not chain us. Aren't our bodies enough a noose? Must we be all apologies to refuse solitude? Well, you know the end. Caught in a net, tangled, our beings reduced to ridicule, and perhaps that's it. Shame does separate us, berates us, leaves us nude, bruised, nothing to show of us. except a slit tether on our backs and a bite from a wasp attack.
Sorry.
So this is a painting by Pritchard, and it's really quite a really important painting. It's one of the first paintings which will truly kind of take on the ideas of the Renaissance. Yeah, I think that's enough for me.
Amazing. Thank you, Joe. The Baptism of Christ by Piero della Francesca. It is an awful insult to life, says Hayao Miyazaki. Difficulty in relationships takes time to overcome. The youthful are under-muscled and the life of their spirit dampened. In the winter, water gets in wood and expands. Look to fear and doubt on the edges. Look to the anxious as a new nation, the weaklings who will not be saved. Soon 4 nails walked to a cross. 3 will be used. The Grand Inquisitor of doubt, Jesus Christ, asking his dad what I ask you. Why have you forsaken me? The illusion of 3 dimensions in a flat land on a flat hill up from a long, flat Roman road. This is not how we see things in real life. This is not harmony in the figure of the human body. But Christ was not human. Beneath my window I call upon 3 angels at their angles that are frogs and beaks and happy hats to witness water. I piss a lot. This is my son who I love, and with him I am well pleased. Hear not to doubt the deity's sincerities. I ask him to better me. Calm down, Steve. Give it time. Let it rest. Stay out of prison. Here I hold my own holy child out to a font of orange cordial and match instructions of the bottle. Here I see John the Baptist in my dreams of death and a world with too much water. Here is the Holy Ghost as a dove descended from dinosaurs. Here is a confrontation of a son with a wet face. Hear my plea. Please forgive me for what others think I've done wrong.